Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox News, the Fox News Debate Digital Special here on FoxNews.com. I'm Abby Huntsman, along with Todd, Starnes, Charles Payne, Kennedy, and Tom Shillue. Well, the gloves came off during tonight's Republican debate, the first one since the big Super Tuesday contest. Four candidates hit the stage this time. Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and John Kasich came out swinging in Detroit. So who dominated the showdown in Motown? Well, here's a look at some of the sparks from tonight's face-off.
He hit my hands. Nobody has ever hit my hands. I've never heard of this one. Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee. I keep hearing that he's the only one that can beat me, but he's getting beaten very, very badly. So where does this come from?
We are not going to turn over the conservative movement or the party of Lincoln or Reagan, for example, to someone whose positions are not conservative, to someone who last week defended Planned Parenthood for 30 seconds on a debate stage, to someone, for example, that has no ideas on foreign, someone who thinks the nuclear triad is a rock band from the 1980s.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? It's now March Madness, and we're heading up north to my turf, okay? And let me just tell you this, I will win Ohio.
This little guy has lied so much about my record.
There we go. The person.
He has lied.
And you see what happens again when you challenge him on a policy issue? You ask him about the economy, and the first thing he does is launch an attack about some little guy.
You know, I think the American people understand that yelling and cursing at people doesn't make you a tough guy. Breathe,
Lion Ted.
breathe. You can do it. You can breathe. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but just...
When they're done with the yoga, can I answer a question?
You cannot. I really hope that we don't see yoga on this stage.
Well, he's very flexible, so you never know.
You laugh out loud on that one.
What a night it has been. I have to say, of all the debates, this one might be the most entertaining one yet. And that's a pretty big statement because we've had some good debates. I'm dying to hear what you guys have to think. Tom, let's start with you and we'll go down the line.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I think that I'm always amazed that Trump, I think this is his weakest forum, the debate. He does great in front of crowds. And when he gets out there, he has that kind of that scowl on his face, and he doesn't lighten it up at all. I know Trump is really funny, so when I see him after these rallies, he's always making me laugh. Outside of that Rosie O'Donnell comment in the first debate, which was hilarious, he doesn't do the comedy as well, so he doesn't lighten it up, and that's what he needs to do. But in any case, it doesn't seem to hurt him because after every debate, his supporters come out and say he won the debate. But this was actually, I think, a stronger one for Donald because it was all about him. I mean, they gave that statistic that all the talk on the internet is about Donald Trump. But this debate, it was either talking to Donald or talking to other candidates about Donald. So whether he had a hard time with some of the details and they went on this long thing on Trump University, it was all about Donald Trump, as today was about Donald Trump. So, again, it helps him.
Or Donald Trump's hands, Kennedy.
It was about Donald Trump's hands, and it's funny because he said that no one has ever commented on his hands. We all know that's not true because Graydon Carter in Spy magazine called him a short-fingered vulgarian, and Donald Trump, for years, according to Graydon Carter, would send pictures of his hands to Graydon Carter, circled, showing how normally sized they were. So he's very sensitive.
Actually, Kennedy, we have the shot of Trump talking about his hands, if we can play that.
Yeah, let's have a look-see at those digits.
I also happen to call him a lightweight, okay, and I have said that. So I would like to take that back. He's really not that much of a lightweight. And as far as, and I have to say this, he hit my hands. Nobody has ever hit my hands. I've never heard of this one. Look at those hands. Are they small hands? And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee it. All right. Okay.
Well, now.
That's a promise you want every president to keep, isn't it? I mean, we're watching that going, it's so great that nothing is wrong in the world, that, you know, we've solved all the crises in the Middle East, the economy's on the up and up, and civil liberties are as safe as they've ever been in this country. You know, it's not a surprise. I thought that Rubio did what he had to do. In essence, going after him comedically and with energy. I think that he and Cruz tag teamed at certain times, like we saw in that Breathe yoga flexibility exchange. And I think that those kind of exchanges do ultimately have a minimal impact on Trump. It is somewhat of an impact, but they don't necessarily help the people who are attacking him.
Charles, it was pretty clear, though, that Rubio's strategy going in was to go head-to-head with Donald Trump again. We were all kind of talking earlier about what his strategy was going to be. I think we have a clip of Rubio answering the question as to why he decided to go negative, because he talks so much about rising above it, acting presidential. Let's play that.
This campaign for the last year, Donald Trump has basically mocked everybody with personal attacks. He's done so to people that are sitting on the stage today. He's done so about people that are disabled. He's done it about every other candidate in this race. So if there's anyone who's ever deserved to be attacked that way, it's been Donald Trump for the way he's treated people in the last campaign. Now, that said, I would much prefer to have a policy debate. I hope that's what we'll have here tonight. Let's have a policy debate. Let's talk about Donald Trump's strategy and my strategy and Ted's strategy and John Kasich's strategy when it comes to ISIS and on health care and on the important issues facing this country. But let's be honest, too, about all this. The media has given these personal attacks that Donald Trump has made an incredible amount of coverage. Let's start talking again about the issues that matter to this country. I'm ready to do that starting right here, right now.
Rubio's got a point. The so-called earned/free media, once he started that attack stuff, I saw Rubio on TV a whole lot more talking about little hands and all of this stuff, and he wasn't even used to it. I remember
wetting his hands.
Yeah, the first day they did it, he was actually like, I got to go to, wait a minute, I'm getting free media? Oh, you know, I think he was ready to go to the next stop. You know, he wasn't even used to all that free stuff. So, listen, I don't think he wanted to go that way. He's all in. This is it. Plus, he's in a desperate situation with respect to Florida. I will say, though, Tom, obviously they're going to attack Trump. He's the front runner. I mean, you know, you spend more time on Trump than Kasich, so I don't know that necessarily makes Trump the winner. You know, to your point, I don't know if this is going to move the needle a lot.
Yeah.
I do think the biggest winner tonight would probably be Hillary Clinton. Some of the things that were said tonight we will hear again between now and November over and over again. The Trump University stuff could start to reverberate a little bit. I thought Rubio hit that pretty good. And then, of course, when Megyn Kelly started asking about it, she had some amazing details, to be quite frank with you, I hadn't even heard yet.
You saw the prosecutor come out. You saw the details come out, and she laid out a case. She had the graphics to back her up. And I think that's really important to do with Donald Trump, because he makes claims and he gets out of things. And if you haven't done your research, it's really hard to refute them in the moment when he shuts you down and says, no, that's not true. As we saw in the CNBC debate, one of the co-moderators didn't have her facts straight on the Facebook question. And Donald Trump shut her down, and she apologized, and it turned out that she was right. And Megyn Kelly anticipated that, and she absolutely had the statistic at hand.
I thought the moderators did a really good job, to your point, Kennedy, of pushing him on a number of those issues. One of those was his taxes. He said he doesn't want to release his tax returns. Let's take a little bit of a look at that.
Mr. Trump, your numbers don't add up.
Because of the fact that the pharmaceutical companies are not mandated to bid properly, they have hundreds of billions of dollars in waste. We don't bid properly. We don't have proper bidding procedures. The reason we don't is because they take care of all of the senators, all of the congressmen, and they don't bid. They don't go out to bid.
You say that Medicare could save $300 billion a year negotiating lower drug prices. But Medicare total only spends $78 billion a year on drugs. Sir, that's the facts. You're talking about saving more money on Medicare.
I'm saying saving through negotiation throughout the economy, you'll save $300 billion a year.
Deficit.
And that's a huge, of course it is. We're going to buy things for less money. Of course it is. That
the only money that we buy, the only drugs that we pay for is through Medicare.
I'm not only talking about drugs, I'm talking about other things. We'll save more than $300 billion a year if we properly negotiate.
So, Todd, this was about his tax plan reducing the debt. I thought Fox actually did a phenomenal job here of really putting him in a corner.
Well, you too. Again, it's obvious that Chris Wallace, Brett Baier, and Megyn Kelly all did their homework. They were prepared. They knew how he was going to answer those questions, and they turned it back around and, again, forced him to answer those questions. But, look, at the end of the day, I don't think it's really going to matter to any of Trump's supporters, because when they're confronted with the truth, no matter what he says, they could care less. I will say this, though. I want to give credit where credit is due to Mr. Trump. Thank goodness during the hands controversy, he did not whip out a measuring stick.
I don't know where you were going with this.
Yes, well, I'm a Baptist. I'm not going to go that far.
I would expect Kennedy to come up with that one.
Wow, Todd.
I think you saw your notes in the green room.
Can I get a whole fist?
I guess I don't know where that fist has been, Todd.
Hey, can I throw something out there, guys?
No phone parties.
Because on my timeline on Twitter, Trump fans were really upset. They felt like it was another gotcha thing. A lot of full screens.
Which part?
A few things with Donald Trump. The first one, to your point, the preparation for the tax thing. The math was already ready for him. Then on the Trump University thing, one of the complainants. I don't know. Some people on a lot of Trump fans are saying that the Fox moderators, and again, particularly Megyn Kelly, were out to get Donald Trump again tonight.
I think that is fair game. We've seen so many of these debates. You know, we're now in the double digits. And if a candidate is going to go out on the stump and make the same claim day after day after day, I think it's very fair to refute that.
But why no full screens and no mathematics and all that stuff for some of these other guys?
But they did. Remember the last debate, the one that who did not show up at? They did that, and Megyn actually mentioned that.
They had a lot of video in that debate.
They did have video in that debate. So I think it is fair game. And look, and Kennedy's absolutely right. At this stage of the game, we need to start talking about substance here.
He's the front runner. I mean, that is fair game.
Plus, his